Whoa. Landing an account this big will totally change my landscaping business. It's gonna mean hiring more guys and more equipment and new trucks for the new guys to drive the new equipment in. I don't know if I'm ready.
You can do this, and Ford Pro FinSimple can help. Our experts are ready to make growing pains less painful for your business with flexible financing solutions that meet the needs of your business today when you need them. Get started at fordpro.com/financing.
Roleplay Retcon does not own any part of the movies we retcon, nor are we associated with the artists who make them. Also, while most episodes are safe for all listeners, please do check the individual episode descriptions for any content warnings.
The soundtrack for this series is by composer Robert Russell. You can find his music at robertrussellmusic.net, on his YouTube channel, and many other places.
Previously on Roleplay Retcon does the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Professor Indiana Jones sent out scouts to recruit 4 extraordinary people for the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Legendary wheelman Dominic Toretto, genius paranormal engineer Jillian Holtzman, actual vampire Laszlo Cravensworth, and time traveler Marty McFly, who found 2015 is not at all as he remembers.
Indiana Jones stands up from his seat at the head of the table. Dr. Emmett Brown, renowned scientist, time traveler, has been kidnapped, along with his family and his time train. Though we don't know who kidnapped him or why, we can imagine nothing good is going to come from this. That's why we brought all of you here, to form the newest generation of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Someone out of sight clears their throat, and Dr. Jones winces and looks at Holzman. Right. Sorry. The name is an old holdover from the Brits. We're just shortening it these days to the League. The League is a group of extraordinary people dedicated to safeguarding the world from nefarious criminals and megalomaniacs bent on global domination and destruction. It reaches back as far as Arthurian legend, if you can believe it. You've all been selected to join us because you're experts, or near experts, in your fields. Dominic Toretto, vehicle expert Jillian Holzman, scientist, engineer, and ghost wrangler.
Excuse me, it's Ghostbuster.
Ghostbuster. Okay, I'll make that correction in my notes.
And he like does. He does, right? Like, he does. As a professor and an archaeologist, he would have a notebook.
Laszlo Cravensworth, a vampire, and Marty McFly, musician, time traveler, and I believe you personally knew Doc Brown back in 1985.
Yeah, and a few other years as well.
Mr. McFly, I believe you have something that might help us.
Yeah, Marty, I think, is a little shell-shocked by this news, obviously very concerned, and will just sort of, like, blankly unfold the flux capacitor plans and slide them across the table.
With that schematic, Miss Holzman, with your engineering knowledge, Mr. Toretto's fleet of vehicles, and Mr. Cravenworth's historical life knowledge, I believe that you'll be able to craft some sort of time machine of your own and be able to track these thieves and kidnappers down wherever they may go through space and time. However, your first difficulty is going to be beating the timeline paradox.
Look, I've seen a lot of really weird shit, but all due respect to everyone at the table, I don't think I've seen enough to think time travel, ghosts, and vampires are real. And my fleet of vehicles, as you put it, does not come for free.
No one's saying it should be for free. Obviously, the League will compensate you for any time if saving the world's not enough for you.
All right.
We all look at Dom.
Yeah. Except for Holtzman, who is just staring really intently at the vampire.
It's a pretty nice place you got here, so I'm going to assume you have money.
We might have a few simoleons stashed in the back.
Ducats hanging around.
I don't know why Indiana Jones would say simoleons.
He's old school.
For any of you curious about the timeline paradox that I mentioned and no one clicked on, the timeline paradox is a chief problem when using this kind of time travel. When things are changed in the past, they create a ripple effect that drastically alters the present and future events, changing the world. People within bubbles created by particular flux capacitors that traveled through that time are protected from this effect, and everyone and everything outside of it are subject to those changes. I believe Marty has experienced this phenomenon firsthand.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, no offense, kid, but and he like looks at Holtzman. He's like, I know an expert when I see one, and like, you don't look like an expert.
How many times have you time traveled?
Oh, got him.
The boy's got spunk.
He did get you, yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have experience, kid. I'm saying you're not an expert.
Well, time will tell.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I liked that one. Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo. You get I'm going to Venmo you $1 for that.
Yes.
Needless to say, he's the only time traveler we have with us.
Yeah, I actually traveled through time.
Yeah. Also, didn't Indiana Jones?
Listen, I'm getting too old. I'm 2 weeks from retirement.
Well, Dom wouldn't know that. I couldn't call you out on that. But
I've hung up my hat. We're gonna scoot on past that.
he forgot.
When did Jillian Holtzman travel through time?
I mean, I believe I'm traveling through time right now, as are all of us. I mean, it's just in a straight line that way, but I'm doing
the
it.
intellectuals answer. I don't know how long you'll have before things start changing, but I know the doc will resist giving up his secrets for as long as he can. But I know someone who might be able to help you. He's a detective in Chicago, but he also claims to be a wizard.
Oh my God.
I think he'll have a way to keep you all on the prime timeline outside of the rogue capacitor's influence. His name is Harry Dresden.
We're in the Alex inserting characters he thinks should be more famous, damn it, part of the
That's right.
podcast.
This is my turn. This is Harry Dresden's turn. Now I know this mission's going to be dangerous, so I'm going to send a protege of mine along with you. She has a brilliant mind for history, and she isn't too shabby in a fight either. At this moment, a woman enters the room, and she's got long brown hair tied back in a long ponytail. She's wearing a sleeveless white shirt and 2 holstered pistols over her shorts that are possibly entirely too short.
Too short for what?
Yeah, like you have. What are you saying, Alex? That they're not practical?
I'm saying that maybe in a jungle setting, they might leave too much skin exposed.
They're Mosquito Town, USA.
Hello, my name is Laura Croft, and I'm going to be your history expert outside of the vampire.
Laszlo will just raise an eyebrow at her.
Lower an eye at her. Like, yeah, are you going?
Holtzman is also going to raise an eyebrow at her.
Are you going for Forrest Whitaker? Are you Forrest Whitakering at her?
I couldn't decide if I wanted to narrow the eyes or simply raise the eyebrows.
So they just
Why not
stayed completely steady. There's no change in his eye.
That's like Laszlo has a talking head after that, where he's like, I didn't know which one I wanted to do.
Exactly.
So I split the difference, and I'm not sure it worked out. And like all of us are in the background, and we're like, what is he doing? Who is he talking
What's
to?
happening here?
That's his superpower.
The fourth wall break.
Yeah, do I get the documentary crew as an asset or something?
They're just kind of hanging around in the background. They're not saying much, but they don't say anything about them either. Well, I'm going to leave you to it. Chicago is a good ways away, and one of your liabilities might be the dawn quickly approaching.
Is it true? Is it true?
It's not true.
Not you. I wasn't talking to you.
Dom's like, why? Well, I'm fine. What are you talking about?
The morning is coming, yes.
I'm not a vampire. What are you talking about?
Dom is incapable
Sorry,
of empathy.
Laszlo. Was it Laszlo? Hi, Jillian Holtzman.
A pleasure.
What happens Exactly.
Well, unless I'm possessed of some mystical sunscreen or a quite large parasail, I do believe I'd explode into tiny bits of ash.
No further questions. Carry on.
So where are we now?
Right now, you're in New York City.
We can't drive there.
We could. It would just take a long time.
Dom's really sad about that. But he doesn't show it.
It's only a 2-hour flight. Y'all can make that.
Are you gonna give us an airplane?
Well, I assumed that Dominic Toretto, master of vehicles and exploration, had a hand on vehicles and exploration.
I don't have a plane, but I know a guy.
Does he have a plane?
It's Mr. Nobody. Ring him on my cell phone, I guess.
Hello, you've reached Mr. Nobody.
I'm gonna wait for just a second. Okay. Hey, it's
I got you. It's just my phone call.
Motherfucker. He's gonna wait.
Got him.
He's gonna wait for the message beep. Like me, Ben is like completely flustered by this, but Dominic is like never flustered by anything. He just waits stoically.
I'm just kidding. It's me, really.
He waits another second.
Nope, this is me for real this time. You can go ahead and talk.
Say the word frog.
Dom, do we really have to do this?
I don't trust you though, Alex.
Beep. He says frog.
This little organization you got me part of, they don't have any planes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They wouldn't have any planes. I've got one at LAX.
Can it fit 5 people?
It can, but you might want to use the one at Kennedy, because LAX is in Los Angeles. I've got you covered. Just head on over to the airport, and there'll be a red carpet waiting for you and your team.
Click. Hey, it's Ben. I've just got a couple of things I need to tell you before we get back to the episode. Our guests for this series are Ryan and Laurel from Flash Fantasy, who make a couple of different podcasts, including a very good Star Wars one. But you can hear both Laurel and Ryan in Riftwalkers, an expertly crafted and produced epic fantasy series that's got a lot of heart, and it's exciting and funny and surprising. And that wrapped up a couple of months ago, so you've got a whole 200-episode epic adventure you can binge. Our featured musical guest on our soundtrack for the series is composer Robert Russell. You can find his music on his YouTube channel or Bandcamp. I'll put some links to that in the episode description. He's one of these composers that releases most of his music under an open license that makes it easy for podcasts like us to just buy a track and use it. For this series, we're playing Savage Worlds Adventure Edition by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. You can buy it on their website. As always, there's the Roleplay Retcon Discord and Patreon. Patreon has bonus content, and the Discord has bonus people. Some things on Patreon are, we do bloops reels, which are all of our deleted scenes and outtakes and stuff that are really funny. And sometimes we'll also do a thing called randos, which is just unrelated stuff to the podcast that we record just for you. This episode was edited by me, Benjamin Gray. Our logo and show art is by Jeanette Blasius. Roleplay Retcon is produced by Two Fish in a Jug and is part of the Nerdsmith network. All right, that's all I got. Back to the episode.
So you hang up the phone and you make your way to the airport, where, true to his word, he has a full private jet at the end of a red carpet.
That's so him, though.
You get into the cabin and there's a chilled ice container of Coronas and other Belgian beers and other things.
Belgian whites. He likes Belgian whites, yeah.
Belgian whites. And you all make your way to Chicago.
Well, wait. Dom like puts a hand on one of the ice cold Coronas, and then he's like, "Wait, am I flying?"
No, there's a private pilot.
Oh, thank
there.
God! He takes 2 out, and then he goes back for a 3rd one.
Hey, Dom is nothing but responsible.
That's what I'm saying. I really do not think Dom would drink and operate a vehicle.
That's his whole thing. Operating vehicles. I do think Marty is sort of peering around at this 2015 like, oh no, I made it worse again.
Marty, it is very strange here. Yeah. Everything is so... Things are round and they're sharp at the same time.
And boring.
Yeah, and there's nothing
it's
cool.
So boring. Nothing that...
Where are the hoverboards? Where are the flying cars? Marty is like, why is the car not flying? But he doesn't say anything about it.
Nothing that should be flying is flying.
Someone explains email to you and it just bums you out.
You arrive at the airport, and here you are in Chicago, the concrete jungle. If you can make it here, you're probably some sort of concrete lion. Mm. The city rises above you, and you glance at the address that Indiana Jones gave you. It leads you to a small, strange apartment. Outside of it, on the street, is a Volkswagen Beetle.
Is it strange?
It is strange. Most of it's blue, but panels have been replaced on it. The left bumper is green, the right bumper is red, the hood looks like the paint has been stripped completely off of it.
That's so Volkswagen Beetle owners, though.
Dom, give me a spirit roll, Dom.
Gotta give you a spirit roll.
This car is in such bad repair.
He's gonna be so disheartened by this poor bug.
Okay, so for an attribute roll, do I still roll the d6 along with...
Yeah, roll your attribute and the d6 and take whatever's higher.
I got a 5.
5. You managed to hold it together. You take a few deep breaths and you're like, well, maybe the engine's okay.
Oh, so it's vintage. This isn't like a 2008 Beetle.
This is not a new Beetle.
Oh, yeah. That hurts. It does still hurt. I just maybe don't take damage.
Mm-hmm. You all approach the building that the address takes you to. Next to the main door is a small stairway leading down to another door that has a little plaque that says, Harry Dresden, private investigator, wizard.
Now, any sorcerers I've known did not advertise it so blatantly.
Dom audibly sighs.
Marty will knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and after a few moments, it creaks open, revealing a very tall man. He's at least 6'7", slim build, long, dark hair, wearing a canvas duster and blue jeans and a black t-shirt. He looks down at you and, without quite meeting your gaze, goes, "How you doing? My name's Harry Dresden. What can I do you for?"
Did you not know we were coming?
I'm a wizard, not a psychic.
You're like, did someone email you?
You didn't receive any emails?
No, unfortunately, you may not know this, but technology and wizards don't really get along.
Why would I know that?
That's why I said you might not know that.
Can we come in? We need your help.
Sure. He eyeballs you all and takes a moment's glance at Laszlo.
May I step through your door?
Are you gonna play nice?
Are you?
I always play nice.
That was so slutty.
Harry gets a little flustered. You're entering my home as a guest, so you can't, chew on my neck or anything.
I promise you, by duty and honor.
I give you permission to enter.
Laszlo will step inside. Did we, just a clarified question, did we lose Lara Croft at the airport or something?
Laura's there, she's just very quiet.
Okay.
She's looking for puzzles.
Laura is like, man, there's got to be a button where I can lock a butler into a freezer or something.
Like there is a puzzle. Like she's found one and she's like, I gotta work on this.
She's going mad at a Rubik's Cube on the shelf.
She finishes it and like a door just opened or something to like a secret bathroom.
Harry Dresden didn't know that his room contained a Mayan ruin.
He didn't.
Wow.
Nobody ever does.
It's actually closer to the books. And have you read those books, Brian?
Partially, not all the way through.
I have read one book.
Just one book in your whole
entire
life? Got him.
Got him.
Harry moves out of the way of his door, and you enter into his basement apartment. And you're taken back by how low-tech everything is. You look around and find virtually no electronics. None of the appliances are newer than the 1950s. The whole place looks to be just 2 rooms entirely lit by candle. The main room is a combination of kitchen and living area, and as many bookshelves are laden with books.
What? He's read more than one.
He stalks over to his counter, pours himself a glass of Coca-Cola, turns, and you'll be wanting a time stasis spell.
That's what we've been instructed to get from you, yes.
Let's see, there's 5 of you. I think I have everything I need. Follow me to my sub-basement.
Never go with a wizard to a second location.
He leads you to the far side of the room, shoves a rug out of the way to reveal a honest-to-goodness hatch door set into the ground. He opens this up, and you climb down a small ladder into basically just a square room cut into the earth. Its walls are covered in more shelves and tools for wizarding. On one of the shelves is a strangely carved ornate skull. There's a large metal ring bolted to the middle of the floor. And off to one side, there's an exact replica of the entire city of Chicago made of pewter.
So what, does the skull talk or something? Like, derisively?
Usually it does. His name's Bob. Right now, the spirit of intellect that usually lives inside of Bob is out with my Tomcat Mister on a night of the town.
I cannot tell you how disappointed I am in that, Alex, having read the one book.
No, you don't get to see Bob. You know what you did.
Laszlo points at the pewter model of the city and just goes, I see you keep yourself busy with hobbies and such.
It has kept me busy, but it's a powerful tool for finding lost objects in the great city of Chicago. Have I mentioned how much I love Chicago? It's my city. I live here. I'm a wizard.
You like the hot dogs and the pizza and whatnot?
I do.
Go Cubs.
All right. Harry goes and starts jingling jars over by the shelves, grabs a few things, makes a few hms and ha's, decides he has what he needs, and turns back to you. All right, if I can have you all crowd into the metal circle. I know it's not very large, but all 5 of you should fit, more or less.
Dom goes, you, Brain. And he's looking at Holtzman. Miss Brain, is this on the up and up? Is this going to kill us?
Wouldn't that be fun? I have no idea.
I assure you it won't harm you.
Well, he says it's not going to kill us, so probably it's not.
If it does, I'll mourn you.
Oh, thank you. Actually, before it kills us, can you just, just a little switcheroo, just a little change? Is that a thing you can do?
A little change? Of what?
Yeah, I mean, like if we're dying, it'd be fun. Be a vampire. That's a thing you can do,
I
right?
see. Grant a last request, as it were.
Uh-huh.
I only do those on weekends.
Alex, what day is it?
Today happens to be Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Alas. Well, you win some, you lose some. I'm willing to step into the weird, mysterious, cramped device.
I think Dom
for science.
Dom has known several nerds in his lifetime and trusts them with his life, so he'll follow.
I hear Dom really loves D&D.
At this point, I think Marty has put on the jacket that the hoverboard and plans were wrapped in and is, clutching the hoverboard and plans to his chest. This is the worst week and a half of my life. And will step into the circle.
Whoa, is that some sort of techno skateboard?
Yeah, it's a hoverboard.
You might want to put that to the far, far, far end of the room.
Marty will immediately, set it down and slide it across the ground. I guess not the ground, the air above the ground.
That's like a flying skateboard.
Yeah, they used to have those in 2015.
Harry Dresden lets out a big old breath and doesn't know what to do with that statement.
Marty stares back at him and also doesn't know what to do about that statement.
They used to have those in 2015 is the fucking best, screenwriting I've ever heard. You're getting another $1.
Yay! $2!
Laura Croft silently steps into the circle.
Real silently, like she does everything.
Question, Wizard Man, why are we putting the technology out of the circle?
Like I stated earlier, magic and technology don't get along. If it were to be in the circle, it would probably explode.
Oh, great. So, Holtzman gets out of the circle and walks across the room and just starts, taking things out of pockets, off of her back, out of her shoe, shakes her hair out a little bit and is like, yeah, maybe that's enough. We'll see.
Now, Artificer, Laszlo will reach into his nice, big, elegant jacket pocket and pull out the little clamshell phone that he acquired from Colin Robinson. Will this disrupt your whiz-bang, or may I keep it on my person?
If it was made past 1953, if you got it in the circle when I'm doing the magic, I wouldn't expect it to work anymore.
He hucks it against the wall and it breaks.
All right, Ryan, call high or low.
Hi.
87, all right. It's a Nokia, and it just bounces right off, and it's perfectly fine.
It cracks the wall.
It cracks the wall, and Harry's a little miffed about it.
Colin Robinson would have a spare Nokia.
All right, if we're all ready, Harry closes his eyes, starts to draw in his will. He takes a vial of blue liquid, blows into it briefly, and then just starts sprinkling you all with it.
Does it look like the stuff in the diaper commercial?
It looks like the stuff out of a tampon commercial.
Yeah. Same thing. It's the
same
blue liquid.
It's the blue liquid that they pour onto to pads and things. And as he does it, it feels like a pressure is pushing you all in on yourselves. Not against each other, just in on yourselves. There's a small hum, and he whispers, "Tempora resiste."
Love tempura.
And there is a whoosh, and the pressure is gone. And there's a shimmer over all of you for a brief moment before it winks out. And you're left with this strange sideways feeling. There you go. You are all now outside of time and thus immune to its fluctuations.
Well, I'll say I'm usually not a fan of wizards, but I did find that a bit arousing.
Well, I've got a love potion in my bag over here.
Marty takes a step away from the lovebirds here.
Now, the spell won't last forever. I'd say at most you've got 3 days until it wears off.
Does this also make us immune to causing problems in time?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never tested it for that.
Oh, I'm going to test it. Don't worry.
Please don't.
I'll let you know.
Tentatively, you're going to be immune to other people causing problems in the timeline. Whether or not you can affect the timeline, well, that we're just going to have to see.
Okay, great. Marty gives a very pained smile.
Don't worry, kid. You're gonna be great.
Well, my track record is maybe 50-50, so.
Well, that's about all I can do for you, really. I have a league safe house here in the city. I can give you the address to. I expect if Jones sent you my way, he's probably on his way to that safe house as we speak.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Why didn't he just fly with us?
No, don't give us the address.
Why did he go in a separate plane?
Indy has a problem with planes. Sometimes they just fall out of the sky on him.
Sounds like he's got a lousy pilot. That's something that Dom would say. He'd use the word lousy.
Well, I think that's all I can do for you, so I'm going to have to bid you all, please get out of my apartment.
Marty will go pick up his hoverboard and leave.
You check your hoverboard, and it seems to be in working order.
Excellent.
Holtz is also going to pick all of the stuff up she shook off of her person.
It's going to take you a minute. There's a lot of stuff
Did
there.
you call her Holtz? Like,
Yeah?
did she give herself a nickname? Like,
She specifically introduces herself as that.
okay, all right,
Holtz, Holtzy, Holtzman, all three of those are acceptable.
all right.
It's fine, Ben.
Okay.
While you're all collecting yourself, Dresden walks over to Laszlo. So, if you're going to be working on this this little mission, I expect you're going to be needing to work in the daylight?
Perhaps. I did once have a vial of proto-vampire. A friend. Well, no, friend is a compatriot. Well, even that. A minion of one of my roommates. I had a vial of his sweat at one point, and that served as a pretty potent sunblock. But, alas, I've used it all up.
Seeing as this might hinge on saving the world, I could offer you this amulet. It's a magical artifact, something I've taken from a Black Court vampire a few years ago.
Oh, well, I'm always in the market for Black Court vampire accessories.
It is quite stylish. It's got the head of a wolf on a pewter chain. It's not silver, I promise. Problem is, if you take this artifact, it will shield you from the sun, but it also make you mortal.
Mortal. Quite the dilemma. So long as I wear it, or forevermore.
Just as long as you wear it. You take it off, give it a couple of days, you'll probably be back to your immortal self.
Why don't I take it regardless? May come in handy, and in exchange, he'll point over to the phone on the ground, you can keep that there device. I hear it's the cream of the crop, the kids' craze, all the talk.
Harry stoops to pick up the cell phone, and it immediately sparks and explodes.
I thought this was a Nokia.
Life of a wizard. You never do get to hold on to nice things.
Holtzman's going to walk over to them while they're talking and just like take a selfie of the three of them and walk away.
Laszlo looks and smiles, and then immediately drops it.
Would the cell phone that she took the selfie with explode?
We're about to find out.
I thought I heard dice jangling.
Oh.
First of all, it was not a cell phone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a disposable camera, but I will roll for it.
I mean, give me a high or low.
Low!
And that is a 4. Yeah, okay. Your disposable camera seems to be one of those really old ones that got kind of like slipped through the years, and it doesn't explode.
Nice.
And you get a really nice picture of all three of them. You won't know for a couple weeks when you
nice.
get it developed, but. And honestly, where develops photos anymore in 2015?
I have
Surely
no
Walgreens
idea.
I bet
does.
in 2015 there were still like some remnants in some Walmarts.
Walmart still does, even to this day.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Thanks for stepping on my joke.
Well,
guys.
maybe your
Your
jokes
joke
maybe
was
your
wrong.
jokes should be more
My joke was
factually correct.
stupid, and we're not going to kick it.
No, it was good. It was a good joke.
So, Harry Dresden gives you the address. Thank you all for stopping by. Now, please, Amscray.
Thank you. It was lovely to meet you.
I do.
And as you make your way outside of the safe house, you start down the street back to your car, and the world shifts. Everything goes sideways for a moment, and you all look around. Nothing you see changes, but then you hear the sound of a train whistle just out of sight, and around the corner comes a group of strangely dressed characters. They're all wearing what someone from the 80s must have thought the future clothes must look like.
Are they familiar to Marty?
Their leader is a big guy. I mean, he's huge. He's wearing black pants, a wicked-looking leather jacket over a black chainmail shirt. Each of his boots are adorned with a metal spike in the shape of a rhinoceros horn. A cap of full metal spikes is strapped to his head, and he growls. Marty, you know who this is. It's Griff Tannen
Oh no!
Why?
and his gang of flunkies. Hey, McFly! Some lady paid me a whole lot of money to beat the snot out of you.
Some lady.
And they all take these cases out of from behind them, and they flick them, and they turn into like hoverboards, just like yours, Marty. Mm-hmm. And then they charge at you all.